Hello all, welcome to today's session. In today's session, we will be covering a small topic from Module 2, that is Theodolite Survey. So in this particular discussion, we will be covering the topics, what is a theodolite survey, what are the different parts of a particular theodolite, and different terms associated with theodolite survey, and what are the permanent and temporary adjustment of a theodolite. Now, coming into detail, what is theodolite surveying? The system of surveying in which the angles are measured with the help of an instrument called theodolite, that a particular type of surveying is known as theodolite surveying. Now, why this theodolite is used? When the object are at considerable distance or when it is situated at a considerable elevation or depression, then in that case we will be required to measure some horizontal and vertical angles to measure all this, to get all these elevations and depression and all. So in order to measure these angles precisely, we will be seeking the help of this theodolite. Now, what is the advantage of the theodolite over ordinary compass? Theodolite is one of the most precise instrument used for measurement of horizontal and vertical angles compared to the magnetic compass. If the magnetic compass, by using magnetic compass, we are able to achieve an accuracy of 30 minutes. In that case, a vernier theodolite will give an accuracy of up to 10 seconds or 20 seconds depending upon the size of the theodolite that we use. So up to this much accuracy can be obtained. Now coming to the uses of the theodolite, it can be, as we already discussed, it can be used for measuring both the horizontal as well as vertical angles. And it can be also used for measuring the magnetic bearing of the lines. Or it can be used for locating any points on line, locating points. Or for prolonging a survey line to another point which is unknown or not defined or not visible from the survey stations. So prolonging can be also done using theodolite. Then for establishing grades, for measuring horizontal distances, differences in elevation, setting out of curves and all other surveying activities that we come across. Okay, in all those activities, we can use this theodolite survey for various measurements. Now coming to the classification. Theodolite may be classified into primary and secondary. In primary classification of the theodolite, we'll be coming across transit and non-transit theodolite, and in secondary classification of theodolite, we can see vernier and micrometer theodolite. Let us see one by one. So first of all is the primary classification. So what is the first one? That is transit theodolite. So the word transit indicates in this type of theodolite, this telescope can be rotated about its horizontal axis. It can be rotated about its horizontal axis upwards or downwards in the vertical plane. So that is the transit theodolite. Now, then what will be the non-transit theodolite? Here, in this type of theodolite, it cannot be transited at all. Okay, so it is considered as inferior in utility and nowadays it is really obsolete. You can see the figure of the non-transit and transit theodolite in this. Now coming to the secondary classification of theodolite. So in that, first one is vernier theodolite. Vernier theodolite is the one in which there will be some graduation circle which is used for measuring the angle values. So for reading those angles and all, if verniers are used, then that type of theodolite is known as a vernier theodolite. But sometimes vernier arrangements will not be there. Instead of that, a micrometer as shown in this figure, it's like a screw gauge and all, such a micrometer is used, then that kind of theodolite is known as micrometer theodolite. But anyway, vernier types of theodolite are the one which is commonly used. Now coming to the essential parts of the transit theodolite. We can see one by one. So this is one sectional view of our theodolite. Actual theodolite will be looking like this figures. Okay. Now coming to the parts. See, the first one shown here is vertical axis. The central vertical line of the instrument is termed as the vertical axis. Then we have a telescope. Essentially, we should have a telescope in order to view the objects and all. So this telescope will be having the objective as well as the eyepiece. Okay. So an eyepiece will be there and an objective will be also there. Now, this instrument will be having two bubble tubes as shown here. One will be near the telescope and the other will be near this graduation circle. Okay. So the one near the telescope is termed altitude bubble. You can see it here. This is our altitude bubble. This is for exactly leveling your instrument. Now you will be having a vertical clamp screw as shown here. This vertical clamp screw will be helping in reading the vertical angles. Okay. Now coming to the Trunnion axis. Trunnion axis is shown here. It is otherwise known as the horizontal axis. Now vertical circle. Vertical circle in the sectional view, you can see here this will be the vertical circle, and actually in the front view you can see the vertical circle here. This is the circular shaped one which will be helping in reading the vertical angles when this telescope is rotated in the vertical plane. Okay, now so that's all about vertical circle. Now coming to the plate level. I have already said a bubble tube will be also provided at the bottom near this graduation circle, uh, and that is termed as the plate level. Okay, you can see the plate level here. This is the bubble tube. Now regarding the plate, this will be having an upper plate and also a lower plate. So this is the lower plate and this is the upper plate, and to this upper plate we can see two vernier slots are there. Okay, one will be the vernier A and other will be vernier B, which will be differing by 180 degrees. Okay, so these verniers are shown here. See, a slot is there where we can see these readings using a magnifier. This is a magnifier, and this will be on either sides of the circle. One will be here and one will be to the exactly opposite side. So that is shown in this figure. One will be here and one will be here. So vernier A and B. Now there will be an inner spindle. To the inner spindle is the upper plate attached, and to the outer spindle, this is the outer spindle, and it is to the outer spindle the lower plate will be attached. Okay, so inner and outer spindle. Now coming to this portion from the first triangle to the second triangle. Triangles you can see here. This is the first triangle shape and second triangle shape here. And this upper triangular portion is known as tribac, and the lower triangular portion will be termed as trivet. And this tribac, trivet, as well as this foot screws or leveling screws, all this together will be termed as the leveling head, because this will be helping in doing the leveling operation for this theodolite survey. Okay, so tribac, that trivet, leveling screw, that we have finished. Now this entire theodolite assembly will be fitted to a tripod, and it's actually first fixed to the tripod head, and this will be your tripod leg. Okay, so these are the different parts of a theodolite. You can see it here. See, in the vertical circle of the theodolite also, you can see two verniers will be there for reading the vertical angle on either side. Like that, two verniers are in graduation circle also, that we have discussed. So here also in vertical circle also a magnifier will be provided to read those readings. Okay, so this verniers, like for this we have named it as A and B. Similarly, for vertical circle verniers we will be naming it as C or D. Okay. Now, the readings in the graduation circle will be looking like this: the main scale and vernier scale. You can read the readings up to an accuracy of 20 seconds as per this vernier scale. Okay. Some theodolites can measure up to an accuracy of 10 seconds also. You will be studying this in detail in your survey lab. Now, coming to the size of the theodolite. A theodolite is designated by its diameter of the graduated circle. Common sizes are 8 to 12 centimeter. Now, greater accuracy is achieved with larger theodolite. That means bigger the graduated circle, greater will be the accuracy. So for such type of survey works where the accuracy required is higher, in that case we will be using the larger theodolites. Now coming to several terms associated with theodolite survey. First one is centering. Centering means you have to set your theodolite in such a way that it's the vertical axis. The center of the instrument must be in line with the station point. Okay, that means it should be exactly above the station mark. So that process of setting your theodolite exactly over the instrument station is termed as centering. Usually it is done using a plumb bob. Now coming to the second term, that is transiting. Transiting means plunging or reversing your telescope. This word we have discussed earlier. That means rotating your telescope in the vertical plane about the horizontal axis through 180 degree, either upwards or downwards. Okay, you can rotate in 180 degree, and that process is termed as transiting. Now, what will be the swinging of telescope? It is the one in which the telescope is rotated or swinged to the left or right. Okay, left or right. That means accordingly in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction about the vertical axis in the horizontal plane. So that process is known as swinging of the telescope. Now, what is the phase light observation? See, when your vertical circle of the instrument is to the left of the observer, then the observation made in such condition is known as phase left observation, and that condition of the theodolite is known as phase left. Now, similarly, if the vertical circle of the instrument is to the right side of the observer while taking your observation or booking the readings, now that condition will be called phase right, and observations taken are known as phase right observations. Now, what is changing phase? Changing phase is the condition. See, if you are originally your vertical circle is to the left, and then you are going to transit the telescope and then swing it through 180 degree, then what happens? Your phase will be changing to the right. That means vertical circle will be to the right of the observer then. Okay, so that particular condition, that means changing your face left to face right, or changing your face right to face left, that procedure is known as changing phase. Now, line of collimation. Line of collimation, it is also known as your line of sight. So you can see in this diagram, it is an imaginary line. See, it's an imaginary line joining the intersection of the crosshairs of the diaphragm, the center of the objective glass and its continuation. Okay, so that is termed as line of collimation or line of sight. Now, what is the axis of the telescope? Similar to the line of sight, this axis of telescope is also an imaginary line, but it will be connecting the optical center of the object glass to the center of the eyepiece. So, it will be connecting the center of the object glass and eyepiece. That imaginary line is known as axis of telescope. And now, axis of the level tube. You can see the plate level here. So if the bubble is exactly at the center line, now we'll be able to draw a straight line tangential to the bubble tube. That line is known as the axis of the level tube, and it will be horizontal if our leveling operation is correct, or if the bubble is exactly at the center, this line will be perfectly horizontal. The axis of the level tube is also termed as bubble line. Now, what is vertical axis? It is the axis about which the telescope can be rotated in the horizontal plane. And what will be the horizontal axis or Trunnion axis? It is the axis about which telescope can be rotated in the vertical plane. So that is known as the Trunnion axis or horizontal axis. Now, what is the telescope normal condition? Telescope is said to be normal if your vertical circle is to the left and your telescope's position is up. The bubble is up. Now, the reverse condition, that means your vertical circle is to the right and your telescope is inverted, then that condition is known as telescope inverted condition. So that were the terms associated with theodolite survey. Now, coming to the adjustments of the theodolite. Mainly speaking, there are two types of adjustment, permanent and temporary adjustment. We have already seen the adjustment of a dumpy level. The adjustment of the theodolite is same as, the theory will be same as that of the dumpy level. So coming to the permanent adjustment are made to establish the relationship between the fundamental lines of a theodolite. And once it is made, it lasts for a long time. It's essential that this relationship between fundamental lines must be established, so that we will be get accurate observation. So talking about fundamental lines, what are the different fundamental lines of a theodolite? Fundamental lines of the theodolite are, one is vertical axis, that we have already seen what is a vertical axis. Now second is the Trunnion or horizontal axis. And then the third one is line of sight or line of collimation. Now, the fourth one is the axis of the altitude level. That means one bubble will be there near to the telescope or near to the vertical circle. That bubble is termed as altitude bubble or altitude level, and axis of that altitude level will be the fourth fundamental line. That is known as bubble axis or axis of altitude level. And similarly, near the horizontal plate also a plate bubble will be there. Axis of that bubble, or it will be termed as axis of plate level. That will be the fifth fundamental line of the theodolite. Now, what are the relations of these fundamental lines? The axis of the plate level must be perpendicular to the vertical axis, and also line of collimation should coincide with axis of telescope, axis of objective, and also should be right angles to the horizontal axis. So line of collimation will be perpendicular to the horizontal axis. Now horizontal axis must be again perpendicular to the vertical axis, and axis of the telescope levels or altitude level bubbles must be parallel to the line of collimation. Then last one, the vertical circle of the vernier must read exactly 0 when our line of sight or line of collimation is horizontal. This you must check during the reading of a vertical angle using a theodolite. So all this must be established before you are taking the reading using theodolite. So this will be actually set by the manufacturer of the theodolite. Okay. In the field, you have to only do the temporary adjustment. Temporary adjustment made should be made for the instrument before you are taking any observation in the field. And what are the three temporary adjustment? First one is centering, second one is leveling, and third one is focusing. The principle of these three are similar as we have discussed in the case of dumpy level. What will be centering? The setting of your theodolite exactly over the station point. That procedure is termed as centering operation. Centering, setting up, etc. will come in the come as the first step. Setting up means the centering, and a rough leveling of the instrument is done as a first step using the bubbles in the tripod, like etc. You can do the not the exact leveling, but a rough leveling you can do. So centering, setting up, etc. will be your first step as a temporary adjustment. Now what is the second temporary adjustment? That is leveling. You have to make the make your instrument exactly horizontal. For that you will be seeking the help of the leveling screws or leveling head in order to do this leveling operation. This leveling operation we have already discussed in case of the dumpy level. Sometimes 4 screw theodolites are also available. For that case, the leveling operation is done in a slightly different manner, but the principle remains the same. Now, the last step is focusing. What is focusing? Focusing is done in order to eliminate the parallax error. What is the condition parallax? That means parallax error will occur when um, the image is not in the plane of the crosshairs. Okay, so if it is not established, then a parallax error will be there. So focusing is done in order to eliminate the parallax. For that you will be focusing both eyepiece as well as objective. So the detailed procedure will be we have already discussed in case of dumpy level. So hope you have understood this temporary adjustment and permanent adjustment. So we are coming to the end of the session. Thank you.